Chain, the world's most innovative crypto ecosystem. Chain simplifies DeFi for mainstream users and seamlessly integrates crypto into everyday life. Discover the endless possibilities with Chain's Layer 0 blockchain. Go and check them out, Chain.com.
From meme to utility, Floki has it all. NFT metaverse game called Valhalla. Floki University, DeFi, charity, and shopping. Floki is governed by the people, for the people. Floki, together, there is no stopping us.
Good afternoon, everyone. BC Richfield here, coming to you live from London. It's just gone 1 minute past midday. And we are not aligned with UTC. We are an hour ahead. So it's just gone 11 o'clock UTC. A huge shout out to everybody joining the stream live today. Hundreds of people here, which is awesome to see. Big shout out to Simon, first one in today as well, swiftly followed by Erica, who never misses. Crypto Dick Butt, hello. Craigie boy, I hope we're not distracting you from too much work, and everybody else that's in the background as well. A big hello. We've got a really interesting stream, or hopefully for you guys today, based on kind of a lot of requests that I've had in messages from Twitter, through the TBN community, etc. So really looking forward to that. My boy Touche, how are you doing, my friend? From my dear friend Trader Danks community. What a legend. Okay guys, Alan as well, Loretto Jr. All starting to pour in. Now this is what we love to see, guys. Everybody pumped on a Wednesday. Two things I want to cover just quickly before we start the show. One is that we have this really awesome show coming up directly after this. I'm just putting the details on the screen now. So it's really cool. So for the big hype, around RWA and DePIN at the moment, this is a show that's going to really kind of bring together your understanding of that and how the blockchain really affects the energy sector. This is one of the sectors I'm most excited about. Super excited about energy. Super excited about mining. We brought you in here with QEX at the very early stage as well. Quantum Expeditions, who are doing really great things. But also property and stuff as well. We've got some really exciting stuff to come up to you. So real world applications and a real build out of that, but especially DePIN, blockchain and the energy sector. So this is going to be really exciting with C4E. Okay, so please do get that in your calendar. If you can attend that, great. If not, make sure you check it out on recording. The other thing that I wanted to cover with you guys today is Pepe Coin. Taking off. Yo, Whack, how are you doing? Give us some hope. Love that. Well, we're going to look at some hopium in a short moment, guys. One thing that I will say today is please do be careful of red folder news. All right. So let me just share this with you guys very quickly as well. It's something I'm not sure it's on everybody's radar, probably on some of yours, right? But using a free site like Forex Factory like this one, or Baby Pips, bits and pieces like that, we're looking at red folder news, right? So these days that come up on here, and we're most interested in what's happening in the US, all right? So we can see up here, 1:30 today, that's UK time, all right? Then we've got core CPI coming out. Now, this, regardless of the print, this has huge injections of volatility into the market, almost always, right? Then we have FOMC today as well. We've got an FOMC member, Bowman, who's speaking at 1:45. That's UK time again. And then we have FOMC meeting minutes tonight. We got a day really engulfed in volatility. Okay, so please do factor that into your trading when you're looking at your charts and that as well. Traditional markets like these, equity markets, etc., do often have a huge effect on risk assets like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So do please let us know. Kelly Barker, you absolute legend. What a just ridiculous joy it is to have you back on the show, my friend. I hope you've been keeping well. Kelly is a dear friend of the nest, all the way from New Zealand, who stays up until silly o'clock to watch me rattle on about the charts, which I'm always very grateful for. So without wasting any more of your time, I wanted to start with ETH today. And guys, remember, this is all about you. So please do let us know if there's anything you want us to check out. That's the whole point of today, right? As we're looking at these. Hey, Nick, how you doing, mate? And then we're going to, take a look at your requests. So do keep the requests flooding in. I'm going to take a little look at them as we go on. But I wanted to start with this. Daylight savings is over. All right, so poor old Kenny's probably only up till 2 in the morning now rather than 3 o'clock. Although we've just misaligned ourselves again with UTC over here. It is nice to be on parity with our fam over the other side of the world. So for me, this just looked like a really, really clean range, right? Now, people have different ways of drawing ranges and stuff like that. So I thought today, yeah, sure, LSK, no problem at all. Let's just have a look. Stop people just spamming the chats. I suppose it's a sign that people are watching, right? But at the same time, it is rude. So let's have a look at them. We're going to take a look at LSK. Guys, do please shout them out to me if you've got any others. Now, I'm going to show you how, and I'm just going to do another session based on ranges today, all right? Because one of the key bits of feedback that I've been getting from people was, okay, look, it's great. I understand the reversal patterns, or I've got these other kind of side of things, but where I'm really struggling is with levels, right? What level should we take? There's so many highs, there's so many lows. What do we do when we get there, right? So we're going to look at levels, ranges, and what to do with them, right? So how do we look for these patterns? What are we looking for? What are the key kind of indications and triggers that we look for when we're looking for breakdowns, breakouts across different time frames? The other thing that I want to go through with you guys is market structure, the power of 1 hour market structure today, all right? But I'm going to start with this on ETH while we get the requests flooding in, and then we're going to rip through some charts. So for me, this was super clean, right? I had this actually marked out as a higher. Hey, Julian, how you doing, mate? So this was back towards the end of March, right? So I had this marked out as a high. We came up, we set this higher. We came in, price came back down, failed to set this higher, right? Making this here a failure swing, right? Not to be mistaken with a swing failure pattern, all right? A failure swing is purely when we have a prominent high or low like this. Price comes very, very close to taking it, but doesn't actually take it out. Now, we see with some striking regularity that what happens in these situations is you often get price seek liquidity lower, right? Like we did here, fuel up, and ultimately then come back to attack this high. Now, it's all about what mechanisms we can put in place to allow ourselves to action that as well, right? Because it's all good looking with the charts in front of us, right? But we need to know what to do when we actually want to action these. And for those of you that know the stream, have been around for the last couple of years with me, will know that I'm a really big fan of inversion fair value gaps, right? Things like this. In this case, obviously, it's a bearish one, but look, set here, then we have resistance. Look what happens when we violate this, right? So when we close above it here, and yes, we're at the range mid, all right? But actually, looking at this, I'm kind of saying to myself, well, there's strength here where there should be weakness. Think of it like this. If the sellers were here in enough force when price came in to test this area, should have been enough to search as seeking for liquidity lower, okay? So below these lows here, nice liquidity cluster, and ultimately this low down here. So when we fail to show that weakness and we show strength, it's telling us that price is looking for liquidity higher up, right? So for the people that bought down here, they're looking to sell to people higher up. So how do you guarantee that there's sellers up there? Well, it's key really. They're selling to the stops. Yeah, stop losses here as well. Peter Dell, hello all, and regards from Oz. Absolutely magical, mate. A couple of dear friends over the years moved to Oz, one in a little place called Mildura. Just a wonderful, wonderful country. And as a diver, another friend of mine as well, who's in Perth, that is constantly sending me pictures of diving Ningaloo Reef off of the pier, the Navy pier there. So for any divers or marine enthusiasts there, you have my unending jealousy as we dive the kind of muddy waters around the UK. Unless you go to places like Ireland, Wales, I won't rattle on too much Scotland, which just have the most beautiful cold water diving. Told you I would be back. Well, do you know what? I'm happy, and I never doubted that you were a man of your word. So what are we looking for here? Well, to say a phrase that just always makes me think of just the awesome SZ who taught me so much in my trading career, deviation, back in the range, down to range mid. Now, if we hold range mid, show strength here, our expectation is that we're making another leg up here, yeah, to go for the range highs. So how do we decant that and break that down further? Oh, Hans, my man. on holiday in Mauritius for a bit. You lucky, lucky boy. Well, I say lucky. I'm very fortunate enough to know Hans a little bit and know what a hard worker he is. So I'm sure it's not luck, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, okay, mate. Yeah, there's another one I'm confused about. You heard about UNFI? No. Looks interesting. Do you know what, mate? I haven't heard about that. If you give me the ticker, we'll take a look at it from a technical perspective. And if not, then let me know. Pop along to the nest, and I'll have our FA team review it for you. So just getting back to this on the range. Yeah. Now, what we want to see here when we come into this level is some kind of absorption, right? Now, I know we didn't have the range set back here, right? So that's fair enough. But what we've done is, as we've come in and we've swept this high, we've also taken out this high here. When price came down to this level, we can see ultimately when we see these nice long downside wicks, price is getting bought up. We didn't have a full expansion here, right? But what we did actually is start the process around for a market structure, right? So high in here, higher low, lower high, higher low. Then we had this break to the upside. Now, it was absolutely my thought that we were going to come up and take liquidity above these highs, right? Now, we never know for sure. That's why we've always got to be prepared to trade both ways. So when we failed to make a run on those highs, ultimately leaving this failure swing, this is when I marked this out. Why? Because these areas are so often brought back to for liquidity, right? So lots of stops there, more stop losses here, more stop losses here. See how they're starting to fail to take one another? Another high here, another high here, here. These just make these beautiful liquidity pools. And then you often see these really fast expansions into them. We see the opposite here, right? So if we're looking at these untapped highs here, yeah, that one's not taken that one, which has not taken this one's left, this one's left, this one's left. Then you get this huge fast move up to take them out. We saw exactly the same down here, right? We had all of these lows starting to cluster, all failing to take the previous liquidity. Then what happened? We set this low, price ripped up, and it started to come back for them here, ultimately leaving more of them here. Then we see this big move down to wipe them out. Anybody that is an ICT trader, very fortunate to learn a lot from Michael in his first mentorship, will know that as low resistance liquidity runs, or LRLR. And the principles in how we're looking at the market is in the terms of liquidity, right? In terms of where price is reaching for, okay? Crypto Life 24, of course, my friend, the one that is currently 7 cent range, no problem. Well, I will write that down, and if I get the wrong one, just shout out on there for me, bud, and I will change it. So back to our principles here. Now, what we were looking for here, this was our inversion on the daily, and we can see that we had this nice expansion higher. But we want to focus on what we've got right now. Now, what we've got right now is price down at the midline of the range, but it's also holding a bullish fair value gap, right? I'm just going to do this in green, just for anybody that's maybe new to the show, okay? You'll see these as grey typically on my chart, whether they're bullish or bearish. But for the purpose of this chart, I want to show the rejection points as red and the absorption points as green. So I'll do the same with the fair value gaps. Now, what's interesting about this is price is kind of trapped here a little bit, right? So if we look at this one, we can see that we have a little bit of a conundrum for price here. Price is holding this midline, and I really like the way that we showed this absorption. Came into this order block. Yeah, just get rid of that. Came into this order block here, nice strong reaction, pin bar candle, right? Now, the key thing here is that this is a really, really big drop, and price is being suppressed currently by this FVG. If I wanted to look at this, not I wouldn't say the safest, but maybe a more conservative way to trade this, what I would be looking for is on a 4-hour basis for price to close above this. Yeah, price closes above this and violates this. This then becomes an inverted fair value gap, which is, or should be anyway, actually purple. It does look, unfortunately, this one in here, it does look blue because the fact it's overlaid on a green background, but you'll see them as purple on the charts. Now, that's only relevant as it was on the daily once we've closed above it. When we close above it here, then we're saying to ourselves, okay, well, where's the next liquidity? Well, we have range high here. This, for me, is the clear and obvious liquidity that's resting higher, along with this small fair value gap here. So as I'm looking at this today, if we get this pump and we get this close above it here, I'm expecting higher prices. As it stands, whilst price is currently delivering from a bearish fair value gap, then we have to respect that fact. Now, we've come and set this high, we've now set a low. The question is this the lower high before price purges down lower? And I'm going to keep that on the chart because just flicking back to our daily quickly, this really should be presenting some kind of support here for price. All right. So depending on what time frame you're looking at it on, it's worth keeping that in mind. So that's my current thought process here. If we drop down to a lower time frame and say to ourselves, okay, well, what are we seeing the initial stages of? Well, we had this nice pump here in Asia. Okay. And if we're looking at our market structure, price came in and swept this low. What did we get? Don't want to sound like a broken record, but we got a nice inversion here. And what happened? Price ultimately seeks the next resting liquidity here. So if you were trading Asia or coming into the beginning of the London session, a nice day trade in there to the highs. Now, we can do that and we can take a trade like this based on the fact that we're within a bullish fair value gap, that we've run a pool of liquidity here, and this is our draw on liquidity, right? So going back to the 4 hour quickly, when price was down here, we're expecting price to draw up to the next point of liquidity, okay? Delivering from this bullish order block within a bullish fair value gap, price is most likely or has a higher likelihood of drawing towards this bearish gap, okay? So I don't trade Asia. I do occasionally trade London, but looking at London, we're kind of in a similar situation, right? What did we get in London? We got our sweep right here, okay? Then when price came up and swept this here, this is where we got our shift in market structure. Okay, when we shifted market structure here, we left this fair value gap, which is bearish, right? Now, price is in a state of delivery from a higher time frame bearish FVG, meaning that our expectation is for price to seek liquidity lower down. We have this down here, okay, which is our balanced price range. That's a bearish gap, which has been violated by a bullish gap, and we expect this to offer support. However, what we can see is when we're delivering again from a bearish gap, we have to respect a bearish bias. So if we were to look at this on a lower time frame, when price comes back up in here, this would be a good place for our entry, but ultimately we could only trade it down to here. So the point I'm trying to make at the moment is that we can see that price is kind of trapped between a few different areas. So until we get some form of confirmation, and I want that confirmation to be on the higher time frame, then price at the moment, when it's in and around the midline, is waiting to give you an indication of what it wants to do. If we try and enforce our will on the market, that's when we can end up getting ourselves in a little bit of trouble. So it's going to be a pretty tricky day today, as well as I covered at the beginning of the stream, because we've got FOMC today. We have CPI as well at 1:30 UK time. These are American things, right? But they have a really, really high intent in terms of injecting volatility into the market, and crypto can obviously be affected by that. So I'm trading with extra caution today anyway. So Peter, very good question here. I'm new to crypto. Started this year in February. Yet I've put into it over 10 grand with 20 different crypto projects. Usually I'm a stock investor and do okay, but this is bonkers. It is, mate. It is that kind of landscape. Things can move incredibly quickly in this space. What I would suggest is finding some people that do really, really good portfolio management. I manage my own portfolio. I think other people do it better than I do. I predominantly make the majority of my money from day trading, from intraday trading, right, or swing trading. But I do have investment portfolios. However, I really do kind of tip my cap to people that do it incredibly well too. You know, we're fortunate to have a brilliant FA team. I know some other people that do it incredibly as well, like the Trading Tank. He's someone that you should probably be following. Chris, Crypto Assessor as well. People that are going to help you kind of balance those, because the issue sometimes when you have too many assets, and you'll probably know this from traditional market as well, is you want to work out how they kind of hedge one another. You know, are they very, and obviously in crypto, it's almost impossible, right? Because you just have, it's all very technology focused, right? But in terms of traditional markets, you can split between, you know, bond and yield investing versus investing in risk assets like the S&P 500, right? Actually, somebody like WETH Alpha is just fantastic at this, uses a lot more kind of technology, algorithmic and learning machines and technology to kind of put together these baskets of assets and do it in a way that there's kind of an allocation split between whether the risk on or risk off elements. But people like that, I'd really recommend finding some really, really good people. The burned. Hello, mate. Sorry, let me just look at that. BC, is that order block just below 3.3? Let's have a look. It is indeed, mate. Yeah, but it's this one here. I do it from the body's arms, and we're 3, 4, 5, 6. Bottoms at 3, 4, 1, 1. I like this kind of area because of this daily inversion as well. Kind of we set this order block here, and then obviously just really ripped from it, obliterating this high that was kind of capping the market. So this is a bit of an area of interest for me. But we have kind of wicked into it already, and I think we've had a really nice kind of strong reaction here. But, you know, I'm a fairly risk-averse trader. I'm going to be waiting for this to invert. If it continues to struggle here and the buyers do struggle to step in, then I think really looking at that kind of breaking down a little bit from here, maybe a little bit further. So Peter, I got the ticker code UNFI. This one seems weird to me. Yeah, sure, let's have a look. So UNFI, we can totally take that on it as well. Martini, do you see ETH below 3K in the near future? Do you know what? I'm really not one for making these kind of predictions, mate. I really do take it. I really do take it day at a time. But what I would say is looking at this on a weekly scale, and obviously price doesn't have to follow this. If we're looking at the principles of premium and discount, which is just a simple range split by the 50%, when we kind of set this range here and we started to correct, there was an expectation for price to kind of dip a little bit lower and find some support down here. Now we can see we did dip into it down here, which was back in the 18th of March. And I think we were roughly kind of just above 3K there. Now, I think the more telling thing on this time frame is that if we've done this, and we've now set that, if we come up and fail to take this high, I think we're setting a lower high, then I think that does shape up for ETH to potentially correct deeper. Now, I don't want to be the guy that sits here and says, boom, we're doing it, we're going to this level, it's not really how I trade, mate. So I wouldn't want to mislead you in any way. Predictions are very hard to make. What I prefer to do is kind of look at structure, look at the technicals and kind of say to myself, well, on a daily scale here, we can see we've come in lower low, lower high, lower low. This is a higher high, right? So we've shifted structure for the first time since we kind of hit this downtrend here, which started back in kind of mid-March. So as we've come up here, yes, we've deviated this level and we're kind of pulling back now. My expectation is for this to kind of find support here and push up. I think if we start coming down and violating some key levels here, like we get back down below this, for example, then I will obviously look at this, as a level for support because we've seen it's acted there before. But, I would think that we're going to run at least these at this point because this has kind of been, this is range low, but the liquidity is really sat below here. And maybe we do kind of purge a little bit lower. Again, this kind of order block here, this order block here, these areas that are sat down in our weekly discount are going to be really, really attractive positions for buyers. This is going to take a lot of conviction here to push it higher, but we've seen it ultimately, all the way through so far, higher highs, higher lows. Look, when we've had these breakdowns, and we look at this one as an example, and everyone was trying to get really bearish here and saying like, okay, fine, maybe it's the end. Then ultimately we leave these liquidity pools, have a small sweep. Again, broken record time, but if you look for these inversions, they can be a really, really good indication that price is, where this should be strong resistance, right? If this is flipping, price is getting above it, is treating it as support, then we expect, some more upward momentum. So very, very difficult to say if it's going that low, mate. I kind of taking it level to level. But if it does, I still think there's going to be good buying opportunities down there. If the market gets pushed that way, it's almost certainly looking to clear some stuff out. And that's it. Crypto Dick Butford. Yeah, of course, mate. Throw me over a chart that you want looked at and we'll cover it now in the last section of the show. So let's look at that. Just go back through a couple of other questions, guys, and we'll jump back on this. Williest, hello, mate. BC, when do you have 16 hidden indicators? Yeah, you can see, right? So basically, these are mostly what I use for teaching. Yeah, so they're, fair value gap indicators that you can get that show them on the chart. Not things that I use personally, but if I recommend them to students while they're looking to kind of get their eye in, obviously my boy Raz's liquidation levels is always on my chart. Monthly, weekly breaks, so you can kind of teach that out. Position size calculator, again, from my boy Raz, that just, I don't trade without that. And I think Raz just popped in the chat, actually, when 10K, Damn right, 10k ETH. That's what we're all shooting for. God, imagine the fees. But yeah, no. So just purely for teaching purposes, mate, like this one from Nephew Sam, which is really, really cool. No, Crypto do, but fire it over, mate. If you've got one that you want me to take a look at, please just pop it in the chat and I'll take a look. Something I do like is this SMT divergence, actually, which this is for traditional markets when I'm trading like NASDAQ and ES bits and pieces like that. But that's what we're looking at. So, yeah, that's where that comes from. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something really, really cool for you guys today. Yeah, put bandana and a crystal ball. Yeah, it's true. I know, look, people like making predictions. Some people out there really, really good at it, looking at areas of kind of high traded volume, bits and pieces like that. For me, it's just, I'm quite a simple creature. I like trading these things level to level. But one of the best ways to do this is to look at this. And one thing I'm going to finish off with for the next couple of minutes before I have something really exciting for you guys. Raz has agreed to join us on stream today. So we're going to take these chart requests along with him. Right. So far, we've got LSK, we've got ARC, we've got UNFI. I saw one up here as well that I don't want to forget from our friend Suleiman K. Where was it? CTSI. That was it. Perfect. CTSI. Fantastic. NIT, yes, awesome, mate. I'll get back to you on that one later. Definitely need a crystal ball. I reckon it would make my life a lot easier. But as Raz says, you don't need it. Just some strict principles. And, Erica is a very good little trader, I can tell you that. Where you can see based AI going. Sure. What's the ticker for that? Does anybody know? Shout me a ticker for it and we'll take a look. So let's absolutely crush this, shall we? I just want to show you very quickly how you can kind of draw these ranges out yourself, right? So for me, if I'm using these as key areas to support and resistance, which is fine. However, I appreciate that people kind of struggle to see these sometimes. So let's just save this as daily range. If we ever want to review it again in the future, see what happened. Right, now, there's two key types of ranges that I look for, right? I look for displacement ranges, yeah, or I look for inside bar ranges. Now, I favor these on the daily typically. First one being a displacement range. I'm not going to show you more than this because in a couple of minutes we're going to bring Raz on and he's going to look at all these kinds of TPO volume stuff that is just going to blow you away. So we're going to do our reviews together and he's going to share all of his awesome insights with you guys as well. Well done, babe. So that is the actual ticker. Well done, mate. Thank you. So a displacement range for me is when we're clearly in an uptrend like this, I'm obviously not trying to trade ranges, right? And I'll tell you as for why. When price is trending, like it is here, it very rarely gives you the option to range, right? So what I'm looking for here is quite simply this. I'm looking for these areas of consolidation to hold and act as springboards for price to go higher. Yeah, so as long as we're holding them, which we're doing here, we displace above them, displace above it here, displace above it here. What I'm looking for, what's known as a change of character, right? So I want to see the bearish candles closed above with a bullish candle, and that tells me that it's go time again, right? If I see consecutive bearish candles in this case, then I make an allowance for all of them. So go time, right? Within a consolidation, price pops above it. We trade, first of all, to the next liquidity and then higher. Here, we get our go time. Price trades above, right? Gets to this point. Then we get to this one. Price closes above. We're long bias here. Price comes down. Probably would have got some intraday trades here, but ultimately price breaks down. Now, if we look at flipping this in the opposite direction, we're now looking at this up close candle to become a bearish order block. We close below it here, right? Then we're looking, where's the next key liquidity resting, right? And it's actually below here where we run. All right. So just when we're trending, that's how I'm looking to play the markets. All right. Now, when we have a corrective move like this, we form something which I call a displacement range, right? So we've had a correction. We've shifted market structure here, right? Price has come to the downside. Now we've swept liquidity here. So this is quite telling for me, this move. So what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to take the low of this move and then wait for the next high to be confirmed, all right? So I want to take the low of the move. Actually, let me do this with a fib. Yeah, to this high. Then I'm going to draw that across to here, all right? And obviously, you got to remember, when this is made, we're looking at this coming across, and then I'm just going to do that as Where's my standard range? There we go. Okay, so quite simply, I've got my levels here. All right, now if I break this down to say an hourly chart, what I'm looking for is as price comes into these levels, I'm looking for price to come and break above these. And then I'm saying, is this a deviation, right? Or is this confirmation above? So if I then change this to adding the quarters in, you can see what a key part these play, right? Now, like with anything, they're not always perfect. But at the end of the day, what we've got here is price comes up, breaks out. How do we know if the breakout is confirmed? Well, we want to see price then get and hold above the original breakout level. That's how I look at it. Price comes up here and holds, yeah, we look for a market structure break and we can trade that to the upside. What we actually see here is that most of these end up being deviations that then come back down to find liquidity resting below old lows or back down towards the midline, all right? Same here, yeah? Price got above, we never broke structure to go to the upside. When it displaced below, we can see the gaps that it leaves and we ultimately target the next resting liquidity. This one here breaks all the way down straight into this, then comes back down and almost takes out the lows down here. So if you're looking at breakouts and breakdowns, this can be a really, really good way to play them. Ultimately, this one was a little bit tricky because we did come up, we did regain structure here. But then when we lose the level again, we've got to ask ourselves, why have we lost the level? So, you know, why are we back down here? Trader Dank tells this amazing story about Johnny and the pizza. I can't steal it off him because he just teaches it. So he just says it so well. But basically the premise is, look, if someone's left your house and they're telling you they're going somewhere and they're convinced they're going there, and then you find them back in your house again, you've got to be suspicious, right? Because they're lying to you. So this is someone leaving your house, right? This is you then thinking, oh, okay, they've left the house. Then they're back in the house. Why are they back in the house? Something's going on. Shouldn't be showing weakness here, right? If we think that there's strength. All right, so that's one way that you can draw out these ranges. Now, the other way I'll just cover quickly, and then we're going to get Raz on here as well. Get rid of all my squiggles. So back to our daily. Now we're going to look at inside bar ranges. All right, you can do this on the daily or the weekly, depending on the time frame that you're trading on. Now, an inside bar range is simply a 2-candle pattern, right? And that pattern has to be a single candle like this one that has the next candle close within its range, meaning it can't violate the high or the low. Okay, what that then does is creates us a trading range like this. Now, when we're trading this, as we'll see when we go to the lower time frames, we're doing exactly the same. We're just looking for how price reacts at each level. Now, obviously, we would probably look to do this on a slightly lower time frame, like say the 15-minute. And the reason for that is because we've got more data and we've got a tighter range. Okay, so when we come into here, we set this higher, right? Yes, price comes back down, hasn't broken above that yet, but we can see here that when we shift market structure, yeah, it gives us the opportunity to trade to the next higher. So our trading is between this level and this level. Okay, we come back into here. What do? We hold this level of support. We break structure again, ultimately allows us to trade up for the next resting liquidity. We get back underneath, we break down here, we get to trade down to here. Now, these look like tiny little movements, right, when you're on here. But ultimately, you know, each of these ranges is like a couple of percent. That's more than enough to get intraday trades off of even a quarter of that. All right. Touche knows the Dank story. I can tell by the laughing in the channel, right? So I just wanted to kind of show you guys that you can obviously do it on a weekly as well. Weekly gives you bigger ranges. I don't think we've really got one going on at the moment. No, we don't. But a good example of it was, you know, when we had this range here, high to the low, look what happened. Price comes in, we deviate that, price comes up, closes above the midline, tells us it wants more, strong close above it, and then ultimately there's nothing really to stop it going higher. So without blathering on to you, do you mind showing you? Yeah, sure, Hans. Which fibs did you want to see, my friend? So if this is just my range fib, or this is my actual kind of Fibonacci in terms of when I'm looking at the golden ratio, the 50% bits and pieces like that. I'll just leave that on the screen for you while I welcome our boy Raz to the charts. Raz, how are you doing, my bro?
Yo.
Good man. Sorry, jumped that on you really quickly then, didn't I? You're probably trying to like sip some tea or something, and maybe should have given you a heads
Can
up.
you hear me? Do I need to tell you the Micah story again, or it's fine?
Mate, no, I've got you large and in charge, my friend, and the mic is sounding glorious. So just while they copy this one's down, the one I just drew, sorry, Hans, for the range, yeah? So there we go. Really, really nice and simple. Just a 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and a 1. So Raz is coming on with us. He's going to share some screens and get us on there. Hans, by the way, if you want any of those, just ping me a message, mate. I'll send you over pictures of all the fibs for your enjoyment. So Raz has come on with us. We've got some assets to review, Raz. I'm going to make us a nice big fat full screen here so people can get ultimate value out of your thoughts. So we've got LSK, ARC, UNFI, CTSI, and Based AI. So in the next kind of 25 minutes, it would be awesome to rip through some of these with your thoughts. I'm actually going to be a bit of a passenger on this. I'll throw my thoughts in when they matter, which probably won't be very often. All right. But should we start with LSK?
I don't know. Let's do it.
Awesome. USDT, I think. Yeah, let's have a look.
Well, it doesn't look that bad, honestly.
Looks quite nice, actually, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Nice trend.
I mean, you take out the low, kinda, right?
Yeah. Just strong bias down there.
Yeah, the range high. I mean, looks fine. It's at resistance though, so this is the most obvious resistance for us. Like, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know about the volume on this thing though, because all these wicks, these are massive, right? This is like fucking 80%. So
maybe a bit illiquid, do you think?
Yeah, but I mean, surely we shouldn't go much lower on time frame. But I honestly think it does not look too bad as long as it's above 1.3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I'd agree with that. I mean, could be a little consolidation coming in here, especially with the daylight today coming up. We've got a lot of red folder news, right? So I know it's questionable how many institutions are investing in things like this.
Sure.
They are in and around.
So this order block, I mean, confirming by the volume that they built on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This volume that I mean, usually when you want to confirm your order blocks, especially on shitcoins, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to know if they are going to work or not, I mean, surely there's no 100%, but I mean, usually when there's something like this, you get it a lot on low liquidity coins, right? You get like massive pushes to the upside, but there's a little like order block left behind. You can confirm it by the volume. You see, we get relatively like more volume rather than like the other ranges here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as long as it's above the this order block, sure, we go higher. Especially if when the target is untapped here, right? This is it. I mean, technically it's retested here, but
it has, hasn't it? But also that really big kind of scam wick high there. I don't know if we've taken that, but it looks like that's kind of left relative equal highs up there as well. Kind of another thing that could be
this one.
Yeah, it could be looking to draw that high.
Good point. So this level is on the table as long as if it gets there, it probably would clear out this level as well. So
yeah, I think so. Big sharp move up, and then it will kind of show us its hand, right? Big strong close above, or a very quick and aggressive wick lower.
God damn it, the market maker is just making fun of us.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's just too perfect, right?
Where's the equal highs? So the equal highs. Yeah.
It just looks like it's consolidating at the moment, doesn't it? It kind of got near that level, aggressive sell-off, probably low liquidity, and then off the back of that, now looking for that kind of consolidation and maybe another leg up.
Yeah, could take much longer though. Like coming here, retesting this on weekly time frame would take like a little bit of time, but
I mean, it would shake a lot of people out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, look, you see these volume spikes here. These are just like the highest volume spike is literally on this candle, right?
Hmm.
So these are just retail traders are getting trapped here.
Yeah.
If we get a drop that we want for like 30%, almost all of them are going to get out. But
Yeah.
this level right here is the best option, the best opportunity to buy.
Yeah,
would
I agree.
say,
Like you
yeah.
said as well, when you kind of go back to the higher time frame, you can see that kind of order block. That just the demand that's going to be for it down there. As soon as price got above that, look how quickly it ripped. Above your kind of range high there. I think that combined with that
Yeah.
OB and the kind of buy zone there could be a really good one.
Yeah. Also with BTC forming this bearish pattern. I mean, not that I want to make everyone is scared, but like the same thing that happened at the all-time high is happening again, right? So this is we deviated, come retested, spent some time at the point of control, went to the value area low, right? The same thing is happening literally here.
Does look like
So
it, doesn't it?
yeah, and also I was checking the volumes before the stream, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's uh so here there's about 9 billion volume traded there on Binance. So
Wow.
all those 9 billion on Bybit. Oh shit! So it's going to be much higher on
Core be
Binance.
higher on Binance, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we had the aggregated data, but ExoChart is adding aggregated data.
Is it
And
really? That's
yeah,
interesting.
it would be. I mean,
That's right up your street,
they're
isn't it?
very bad at like offering and selling their product,
Mhm.
but yeah, if they had aggregated, I think it would worth the cost because the
Yeah,
cost is
no,
a little bit higher. Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Okay, awesome. So let's run on to our friend Suleiman K earlier on asked for CTSI. Can you give us your expert thoughts on that, please, mate?
CT.
Yeah, CTSI.
Yeah.
That's it.
At least they're all on Binance because
Yeah,
back in the
normally we
day,
get
they used to be things on Uniswap. I mean,
crazy requests. Yeah.
yeah, com rockets and stuff.
Yeah, I actually got asked for that one when it was pumping. I was like, I'm not repeating.
Yeah.
Just one candle from just top to bottom and just a huge drop.
So first thing first, don't use logarithmic as much as you can.
Mhm.
But but
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah, again, so my understanding of an accumulation range is that for me to consider it a strong accumulation is I
Mhm.
need the price action to be to the downside, right?
Mhm.
So like I always give the example. Sorry, I should jump on another one too. Just so I always give this example, right? What the fuck was
Mhm.
that? So this you see link here in this range,
Mhm.
right? I mean, except this part. This is not an accumulation range. This is just some ranges that's building by the market makers. They sell here, they buy it up here. Okay, this is not
Mhm.
accumulation because it's not to the downside, right? You need
Yeah.
the market to make new lows while accumulating, right? Of
Okay.
course, they do it. You see, they do it, and it just shoots off after that. Like
Yeah.
because it's very important. You need to look for new lows if you're looking for buy. If
Yeah.
there's not new lows, I mean, just skip it. So CTI
Yeah.
was it?
I agree. Also, as well, we can see a real kind of power of three there, right? You got your accumulation, your manipulation, and then your
Mhm.
expansion.
It was CDSI, right?
CT, that's the one, mate. Yes.
Yeah. So and again, right here, I honestly think this one is a good accumulation range. Of course, you can always confirm it by volume, right?
Mhm.
You see price is going down, right? Price making new lows. I mean, it's arbitrary. It's always controversial talking about the volume because it's on one exchange only. But I mean, just for the sake of demonstration, price is going down, volume is going up, suggests a good accumulation range, right?
Mhm.
uh And yeah, so about the accumulation range, this is what I would mark on my chart. And again, look at this. I mean, you see it. I mean, a million times on the altcoins. You see the order block.
Uh-huh.
You see the order block before the move to the upside with relatively high volume right here.
Hmm.
Okay, so this is just an order block that you want to hold if you are to go higher.
So we're
So
really coming down into that at the moment, right?
yeah, so pretty nice confluence as well with the range high. I
Hmm.
don't want to really make things complicated by adding the volume profile. It's obvious right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the range high with the order block. Order block is on high volume. Definitely something going on this candle. Yeah, I would keep an eye on it. I don't have
Mm.
it on my watch list. Let's add it actually.
Nice. So yeah. So really good shout out there for CTSI from Solomon K. Looks like that's in an interesting point at the moment. Again, not saying you should just go and throw your money into this at the moment, but it does look like it's one of those things. If it can hold this area, this looks like a good position for a bit of a shakeout of some people, a bit of over leverage as people were kind of running too high, to then maybe look at this kind of having a rip. And I love those levels there from Raz. So you can see someone with Razoon's experience, right? And you look at the chart and you can see how he will just pick out the idea in, okay, boom. You can see where the price is being capped, and then you can see those big expansions beyond it, and they make these natural support and resistance lines. It's a really, really good way to get your eye into the market. Don't think of them as magic lines. I hear that all the time with people that criticize technical analysis. It's not that. These things print and tell you where buyers and sellers stepped in, right? So institutions like trading higher time frames, as do whales, for example. So they're always good places to keep an eye on.
Yep, definitely. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So also
Awesome.
this thing, it also works on BTC pair. So I mean, yeah. So this is what I mean. Of course, there's a concern that we're kind of sweeping up this high right here, and maybe things are getting bearish. But as
Mhm.
long as we're above the accumulation range, things it's just fine. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
I agree. And dangerous to short in these positions, right? I see a lot of people, especially, and this is a big thing for retail, right? They wait for price to rip so low that it's basically
mhm,
coming into a point of support. And then they've convinced themselves that because price is pulling back so aggressively, that price
yeah.
is now going to sell off to zero or go much lower. And actually, markets are designed to get you thinking like that, right? They want, to be on the wrong side of that bet, for people to over leverage in the wrong direction so that they can fill those big old orders and flip you the other way.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, in general, I don't think shorting low cap altcoins is a good. I mean, I'm not sure if this is a low cap or not, but I mean, shorting like coins like that, but
Mhm.
that make weeks for like 40-50% is
Yeah.
just not a good idea.
It's dangerous, really, really dangerous. All right, what's your thoughts on ARC, USDT, mate?
Arc, relatively new one, right? Or what do we got? So we got Bybit, Binance, BitMEX. Do we have more data? No. Okay, so okay, that's all we got. I mean, so yeah, this is the range high for sure.
Yeah, nice SR level. Gave that beautiful little swing failure there, didn't it? It's got back
Yeah,
under, then just had that. Ah,
range
okay.
low.
ARC. Sorry, Raz.
Okay.
USDT.
Oh, so here they come,
Yeah, this is where we get
Look,
the this is where we get the low caps. Here we go. You were just
yeah.
crying out for them as well, Raz. I knew you were missing them.
I mean, I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay, so
Good advice here from Harms as well
what
in
this
terms of if
thing
you're
even is? So strong sell. Okay. Uh yeah, so this is the, I mean, this one is trending, right? So
Mhm.
as I mean, when you see things like this, I remember like GRT back in 2021, or
Yeah.
there was like Uni, all those Uni Sushi, all those exchanges. They usually trend up, right?
Hmm.
If and I mean, just based on my experience, if they are trending up and the fundamentals are fine, there's usually I mean, buying the dips is not a bad idea, especially when the price action is confirming that, right? So it's just
Hmm.
making higher. It just makes sense for this one to go higher from here, right?
Yep.
But once again, I mean,
You've
the,
got
the
that nice
shit
kind of
coins,
order block
no
there. Right?
volume. Yeah,
But
no,
yeah, the
I mean,
volume is really low, right? Look.
volume is under 1 mil, man. Come on. Come on. So yeah, someone probably with I mean 300 or 300k
Yeah, can move this
can
aggressively.
move this one. Yeah, but again, the idea stands the same. So range high, right?
Yep.
And this is the order block on relatively high volume. I mean, not really, but because if I know
Yeah, I'm looking at that.
you yeah, so you look
Yeah.
at this whole thing as an order block, right?
Yeah, it's basically just it's a prior consolidation, right? So for people asking
Mm.
this a lot, like what confirms order blocks, what makes supply demand, etc. Sometimes if you're really struggling to get your eye in on that, or you haven't got a set kind of a complete set of rules on it, then just look at the areas of consolidation as price expands. And this is one of the most important things that this became a game changer for me when SC taught me, because I've come off Michael ICT's original mentorship many years ago, and you have very strict rules around order blocks, what expansion you need to see, whether there's fair value gaps after them, whether they're at points of support and resistance, etc., which was good. But the way SC taught me was looking at these areas as like mitigation, right? So looking at points of consolidation and then looking at points of bullish consolidation to hold always until they don't. If you lose them, right, then the idea is you're flipping that area to resistance. You're looking for price to pull back to it and then looking to short it down next to the next area of consolidation lower, right? So if you get these big expansions beyond it, you've seen consolidation, then you've seen the buyers step in, for example, and the truth in the opposite direction as well. But for some people that maybe struggle with that, and typically if you're looking especially on, say, 4-hour, 1-hour charts as well, you really kind of see it stand out. Because people really do, I think, get quite confused by, order blocks in terms of support and resistance.
Yeah, for sure.
So what's your thoughts on this then, Raz? I mean, it looks like it's in at support for me. We've got a key area. I tell you what I'd be looking to do here is I'd be looking for that bearish fair value gap that's right above price at the moment. And I'd be looking to close above
I
that.
get
And then look at all that. Look at the liquidity cluster above us, right? Look at all of those untapped highs just sitting there screaming that it wants to go up there.
I get what you mean. But I mean, to be fair, I mean, this one is a little bit tricky. This one is for
Mhm.
sure a little bit tricky. So if you I mean, I'm getting old. So if you do this, okay,
Mhm.
what you get is probably this is your range, right? This is the range that you're looking for. This is the range that made a new low, probably, right?
Mhm.
So for me to get a confirmation, I need the price to be above here.
Nice.
Yeah, this one is a little bit aggressive with I mean, looking at the price action and how the candles are performing.
Mhm.
Just the fair value gap is a little bit aggressive.
I know,
Of
I
course, you
agree.
can.
I agree, because you'd be looking for
Yeah.
some kind of structural change as well, right? You'd want at least a shift in market structure, right? For me, if I'm playing the inversions, then I'm only playing it to the next liquidity above it, always under the assumption that that can fail and reverse. If not, and it starts to hold, then we look for those shifts and these breaks in market structure, right? And then from
Yeah.
there, exactly right, to set that kind of base. Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, and yeah, because I think longing here actually makes sense. Of course, it doesn't like price is down like what 50%.
Mhm.
It makes sense. The problem is there's no invalidation level for your trade here,
Agreed.
right?
Yeah.
But if you get a structure like this, you can safely put your SL here and target higher higher levels. But right now, I mean, if you if you long here, targeting here, your stop should be here, which is, I mean, does not suggest it.
Because there's nothing to
there
say
is
the
the
price
role.
can't wick down and take the liquidity below that prior swing low, right, into that fair value gap, and then all of a sudden, you've really not got much. What you got, like a 2.2 risk to reward there, right?
Yeah,
And
it can easily come to here. I mean, not even this one is again, like, look at the order block. This order block on high volume.
untapped.
I actually want it to be here to come here.
That would be
for
the
a
best
long.
buying point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'd be looking at that, and then a structural recovery above that, and I think you flush so many people out of the market at that stage. I think that's really, really good. So we've got a couple of minutes, Raz, but then we've got this awesome show coming up for everybody that's kind of looking at RWA projects with Deepin. We've got a really cool partner coming on who are going to look at the blockchain and energy space. So we've got that starting at 12. We've got 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, we've had someone just pop into the chat, Mr. Incognito, that would like us to look at something. We've got a couple of other projects before it. I wonder in the next 4 minutes if we can review very quickly 3 projects. What do you reckon? Let's start with UNFI, UNFI. Let's see what we've got.
Okay, so on the spot.
Just some kind of high time frame views from you here, Raz. I mean, this one is obviously looking pretty bearish on the daily.
I mean, what the hell is this?
No, what the hell is that wick, man? Christ.
Oh yeah.
So what are you looking at here, Raz? What do you think?
Again, like not a very bad accumulation range. We got it to the downside. I mean, this one is technically another one because we made a new low. I mean, it's very important. They should make a new lows each time.
Take the liquidity out and then flip.
But this one looks like so the range high here deviated, confirming for a move to the downside. But again, look at the order block on high volume, right? So pretty easy. This one, and it's in confluence with the massive SR level that we had like since 2021.
I like that.
Yeah. It's 4 to 3.3 is a good opportunity to buy. You also have a good
price swing low as well.
You have a stop loss as well. Your stop loss is below this low, right? So
and then if you trigger that, you really know it's gone in the wrong direction, right? Because you're under historically TSR level. You've broken through that order block at higher volume. So I think that's a great point. I think that's definitely what I'd be looking at for there.
Yeah, your stop loss is a lot though. It's like 65, but when you get things like this, you can DCA, you can just buy a little bit, because you have this whole range to fill your longs. You can do whatever to get better entries. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so Based AI, and I believe it is actually BASED and AI. That's it with wrapped. I think that's with wrapped teeth. That's right. So we're on to Uniswap now. We're really pumping you down into the depths of disparity.
I know.
But
I'm just wondering what's the difference between this Unis. Oh, it's Uniswap V3. Okay.
Okay, versus V2. Wow. So to the daily.
I mean, is this thing going to be listed on sexes on like some central exchange? Because it's like it's up. Oh my god, it's like
4,500%.
Because it's not even on centralized exchanges yet.
Nice. Crypto Dick Butt. Where was the shout on this back in March, mate? Come on.
Yeah,
awesome shout. But okay, clean range. We've deviated the range lows. We're kind of back at range highs now, right? So what's your thought process on this? You want to see a clean break above those range highs?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a good idea to draw a visible range volume profile on something that looks like this. Look at the name. I don't even understand what's going on, but yeah, I mean, it still has a little bit of room here. Of course, there's you see if we zoom in, we get like massive resistance levels here.
But that's where the value area high is as well, right? I suppose that's what we're looking at.
And it's the value area high. Usually, when you see prices like this, if you flip the value area high, which is the range that I marked, you get new highs. But
Exactly. So
yeah,
we look at that to be a kind of support and resistance flip, which I think is really important. But again, to be really careful here if you're looking to kind of put money into this. It is quite high at the minute.
yeah,
Right, Raz, we literally need to flip off. We've got 1 minute, and Mr. Incognito would love us to take a look at STC very, very quickly. Apparently, it's going to be listed on a top tier exchange in June and July. So let's take a look where we are very quickly, and then we need to go, wow. Okay, so that is
there's a do nothing situation.
yeah, unfortunately at the moment, you'd need some kind of considerable pullback here to maybe a point of.
Oh, is it this
Oh,
one?
okay. Which one is it, Mr.
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Hey, nice. There was some good TA on this, Raz.
Yeah, I mean,
Back
back in the
above and we're
day.
in.
Yeah.
You've
Look
been
at
printing
that.
some profits on STC without even knowing it. Nice though, man. Look, that was that was a really cool shout. I mean, that really was to tag that in at range higher beautifully.
Yeah,
there.
it is.
Now,
It was beautiful.
we really need to flick off stream because we've got our friends and TBN fam that are going on there as well. Big shout out to everybody that's made it. I would say
You got live trading today, right?
what's that? Sorry.
You got live
Yeah,
trading.
live trading later on. So we're going to be live in about 15 or 20 minutes. But we've actually got. Let me just go back up to here because we've got a really exciting show lined up for everyone. If you can get yourselves across to here now, the YouTube link is above there and should be in the description as well. So it's about DPIM, the future of energy markets with C4E, looking at real world applications and DPIM and how blockchain is affecting the energy markets. Really, really interesting. I'm going to go and grab 15 minutes of that before we shoot across onto some live trading. Going to be a bit tricky today, live trading. I think it's probably going to be more of an education session because we are about to run straight into CPI today. So we do want to remember that. And then we've got FOMC later, but we're just going to take a look at how that comes on. But just want to finish off by saying a huge shout out to everybody on there. Again, apologies we didn't manage to get deeper into STC. But do pop back on with us next week. I'm sure Raz would love to jump back on as well, and we can take a look at those. Just want to say a big shout out and a big thank you to everyone. Yeah, so Cyter Chain, yeah, exactly, which is our partner. I think the other gentleman, STC, may be on the other
So
one.
it's the previous one. Don't do anything.
Yeah, so we can, and you know, we're partners of Cyter Chain, huge believers in what they're doing, you know, technically, but especially from a fundamental level. So yeah, do stay in tune with that. Come back on next week if you've got them, if we've missed any opportunities or any tickers that you wanted us to take a look at. But a huge thank you to everyone, and a really, really big shout out to Raz for giving up his time and coming on and dropping all that out.
Sure, man, anytime.
As well, made my day. All right, guys. So look, have yourselves a fantastic day. Do trade safe. Please do be aware that we have big volatility potentially incoming from CPI and FOMC later. And then we're going to catch you again next week. And I'm going to see if I can twist Raz's arm maybe to jump back on with us again next Wednesday. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks, Raz. You're an absolute legend. I will see all of you around the nest.